Two, the strike rate tells you a lot of what you need to know. Can he build on it? Can he continue that good form alongside this man?
Yes, indeed. Jos Buttler is the man that Phil Salt credits with keeping him on the right track during the course of these last 200s. Buttler with all the experience, Salt making a really big name for himself. And if you look at the averages, both men averaging about 35. Salt's has gone up dramatically over the last couple of weeks here in the West Indies. Buttler's has been there for quite some time. And both those averages are stellar in terms of world T20I figures. So for West Indies, the big question is, can they find any solutions, both at the start and at the end of the innings, to try and quieten things down? Wickets, of course, we always say this, it's always a truism. Wickets, if you can take them early on, are your best way to slow things down. Shane Thomas here today might just, with that little bit of extra pace, give them a cutting edge that was nowhere to be seen 2 days ago. But if you're a Shane Thomas or anyone in this West Indies bowling lineup, you'll be thinking very hard about what comes next, especially over these next 6 overs of the power play.
England are off and running. Phil Salt is off the mark. The opening partnerships, which have constituted 77-9, responsible with 40, 25, 109 and 19. Only Riley Russo has back-to-back T20 international hundreds for full member nations. First time Andre Russell is opening the bowling in a T20 international for the West Indies since 2016. Deep square and deep point.
An up and down series for Andre Russell, man of the match, sorry, player of the match in the first game in Barbados on his return, where he told us before the game he was nervous, yes, because it'd been 2.5 years since he'd played for West Indies, wanted to do well, so he produced a performance there. Then things went slightly wrong, shall we say, in the next his head.
First boundary of the game. A gift, really, from Andre Russell. It is that time of the year as well.
Yeah, he tries the bouncer, but I mean, Buttler, okay. Buttler once mishooking. So maybe it's worth one go, but it was ill-directed. You've only got the man on the edge of the circle protecting that area.
We're talking about plans. We're going to be looking closely at how this first phase of the game and the bowling plans of the West Indies. No Akeal Hussain, who started it almost exclusively in the first few games, so it's hard length so far and trying to be as straight as possible. A reminder, there's a deep square leg and a deep backward point. No deep fine and no deep third. Missing leg. So everything has been a straight line from Russell so far,
which is good. So apart from the bouncer, which was ill-directed, you've seen both Salt just had the one ball nudged on the onside, and Buttler behind the line. Nowhere to really go with this unless you just nudge it round the corner.
Can he close out the over? Apart from that boundary, a decent over, 5 without loss.
Yeah, rather different start compared to 2 days ago on this same pitch at the same ground. But second. So good opening over from him.
No Matthew Ford today. He went for quite a few in his solitary game 2 days ago. No Akeal Hussain with a new ball as they become so. Thomas in December of 2021. And his field set is very similar. Deep backward point, deep square leg.
And a slip in place as well. So will he get that little bit of extra pace that makes the difference out of this pitch?
Oh, Salt says thank you. No second invitation needed. He likes it. He's seen a few in this series.
Yeah, just over-pitched from a Shai Thomas. I mean, Salt, in the form that he's in at the moment, is going to say thank you. As you say, it's another gift, seasonal gift. So Shai Thomas will know that he needs just to pull his length back a little bit, straighten the line up a little bit. And then, like that, the options are fewer. So he's got that third on the edge of the circle, so that little dab just goes straight to third. I mean, what do you want to see? I mean, we heard before the game, we were talking to Reece Topley, was saying that one of the things he's trying to do with the new ball, brand new ball, first couple of overs, is take wickets. And if that doesn't work, then you try and peg it back, you try and keep control. Shai Thomas, if he has that little something about him, we've seen it elsewhere, if you can just get a little bit of movement somewhere with a bit of bounce, just pick one up, then West Indies, Robin Powell, his captain, will say thank you very much, we need the early breakthrough. And those last two, better length, better line, so the options just cut down for even Phil Salt.
Mario Shepherd right of screen, not yet, well, wasn't fit enough to retake his place in this unit. Series ends today, so sadly for him, but he's had a good year. And those last three deliveries are more typical of Shai Thomas, into the pitch, off stump. No margin for error though, and the wind is coming across from a leg to off today. In front of square. And four.
Well, it's a fine shot. It's a lovely shot. It's one of those ones where it could be either Salt, this time it's Buttler. Either of these men will see that early, the form they're in. Once you get it away in front of square, well away from the fielder, it's four all the way.
There is protection out there.
I was just thinking, though, from Thomas's point of view, we'd seen that first over from Andre Russell. The one bad ball was a short ball, which, in terms of international cricket, was there to be hit. We'd just seen Thomas bowl two really good balls, 0 and 1, just slightly back of a length, good lines. Why change? Why change at that stage?
Good stop from Rovman. Powell keeps it to 1. 16 without loss.
Well, West Indies promised that yesterday they would do a bit of talking, nothing serious, just enough to try and regroup, reset their plans. They know, of course, everyone at the end of that game 2 days ago was saying, right, it's all set up for the final match, which is a sort of grand final for both teams. And England would have been happy the way it went. West Indies knew they had to change the plans, but certainly change execution. So in terms of the plans today for West Indies, for the first time we haven't seen Akeal Hussain bowl one of the two opening overs. Despite the fact that Andre Russell's first over was actually as economical as any we've seen in these 5 matches, give or take. Hakil Hussain comes in to bowl the 3rd over of the innings. Now that breeze we mentioned just now, Ian mentioned that breeze just now. The drift in with the arm is the same direction as the breeze. So anything leg side is with the breeze.
Good single.
Be aware. Be more aware, boys.
You don't have to say much when Puran behind the stumps. But I think, and on your point of that, Hussain largely is going to look to bowl straight. So what we've seen from Jos Buttler in particular, we've seen the orthodox sweep from Phil Salt, but we see reverse sweeps and orthodox from the behind point.
Gotcha.
Nice and straight, nice stop from Jason Holder.
Yeah, long way down for the big man.
Wrong. Motie.
Right, the slip comes out into that. It's going to have to be a shortish position at extra cover by the regulations of the game. So that blocks off the one there.
So often in this series, Phil Salt has done that. A smidgen of room.
Well, a lot has been said about Phil Salt and his strength on the leg side. Sonny's will check on this injury in a moment. Let's look at the shot first. Everything is cleared out the way. It's a straight delivery. Everything is cleared out of the way by Salt. Times it nicely, places it nicely. Now, of more concern to West Indies is what Shafane Rutherford has done to himself in the process of trying to get the dive in to try and stop the ball. Something doesn't look good here. It might be just a finger, can't really tell necessarily what's going on.
I'm hoping it's not significant, because we saw Brandon King get struck early in the previous game and left the field for an X-ray. He looks okay, Shafane. You could see the seam position going down there. It was meant to be the arm ball finishing at the stumps. It was just a touch wide, riding on the wind. I wouldn't say wide, but Salt made extra room for himself. So he's got to tighten the line and watch for the strike down the ground or the sweep. A reverse sweep on that occasion.
There's always this guessing game played, whether it's the start or end of the innings. And actually this time it's Hussain wins the game, wins that particular contest. Premeditated. And if it had been a tall straight, then that would have gone maybe just behind square on the offside.
That was very, very close.
Yeah, it was hit just too firmly in one sense, because it was straight at Jason Holder. So Holder does well here, keeps his eye on the ball, gets set for a good, powerful throw. Just misses with the throw. I think Salt, actually, to his credit, would just have made it. But a lovely piece of fielding. Calm head, good hands,
Last
good
ball.
throw.
Okay. Remind you, sweep. Come on.
Eight off the over, 24 without loss.
Yeah, not quite what Jos Buttler had in mind there. I think he would have liked it to have gone straighter. He would have loved it to have gone off the middle of the bat instead of being clothed towards the long on. So it's a decent start from England, 24 without loss after the first 3. Could say it was indecent the other day, where things were going everywhere much more quickly.
So this is one of the plans the West Indies came up with to give them, England, different looks early in the power play. Fourth bowler. Had Russell, O'Shane Thomas, Akil Hussain, now Jason Holder, who's been going at 11 and over in the series so far. He's got the same deep square fielders.
Well, it's an old tactic in the sense that captains have often said, right, rather than letting someone get used to a bowler for 2 or even 3 overs, change every over, just reset the demands every over.
Got him! Jason Holder strikes the 2nd wicket in the power play in the series for the West Indies, and only the 2nd time this opening pair has been broken before 77 runs.
Well, this is a shot that Jos Buttler plays a lot. He likes to be inventive at the start of an innings. This is one of those ones that just does not work. Found the man absolutely perfectly. Jason Holder shows that there is passion in this West Indies team in terms of how they approach this final match, and they've got their first victim. Jos Buttler gone for 11, 24 for 1.
Will Jacks replaces Jos Buttler. He's got a highest score of 24 in the series so far. Strike rate is good, but I think he'd like a higher volume, a higher average of runs. And this number 3 position is so critical. The responsibility of it is to either carry on the tempo or to be that bridge to the middle overs and through it. He likes to play square of the wicket, particularly on the offside. Not exclusively, but he's strong there.
Well, let's just look at this wicket again. As I say, Jos Buttler plays this an awful lot. What he would loved, what he would have much preferred is just a little bit less length. This is just full enough to make that shot hard. It's premeditated, so you get yourself in position and you kind of preempt the fact that someone like Jason Holder is going to drop it on a length. When it's slightly fuller, the shot gets harder.
Not hit it as he would like. Isn't that at home, folks? Because we talked about the wind blowing in the opposite direction in the previous game. West to east, today it's east to west. So if you miss-hit it into that side, that leg side today, you could be in trouble.
Well, we've seen during those 2 successive hundreds that that's a very strong area from that sort of length, that sort of line for Phil Salt. So actually that is the exception almost that proves the rule as to how good he can be in that direction.
It's a nice touch, very nice touch. Oh, he almost did it, Akil Hussain, almost did it. But
yeah, this is an example of the range of Phil Salt's thinking about the game and his batting, and the range of shots he has at his disposal, because that's just timing and placement. Brave effort, which deserved better actually. It's just it's the 2nd attempt to grab the ball that inadvertently sweeps the ball back onto the boundary.
Straight 32 for 1. Not only are they bowling straight, but they're bowling into the pitch just short of a good length, keeping it simple for all the little ones.
Well, it's a very good point you raised, Bish. By keeping the lines dead straight, all those little options, that little bit of width we've seen for the past 4 games can get crashed away through the offside. A little drop of a length maybe down leg side, gets crashed over the leg side. So they've been generally more accurate. There's a lot of boundaries in there, come what may. But if you look at the ones that are just outside off stump, sometimes on off stump, they go. And it depends on length. Some of those ones just outside off stump have gone over the leg side. Yeah, just while we're making the point, there's a bit of a conversation out there. Some of those blue balls on off stump, they're short enough to go over the leg side. Obviously a little bit of width goes through the offside. Anything down the leg side, got a free swing. So yes, Ian Bishop is absolutely right. By keeping it basically middle to leg and sometimes just veering down leg, you have a better chance of restricting Phil Salt. But you've got to be so precise.
Yeah, then we'll jump. It's a point well made. And then you jump to the middle overs of the innings. Once you can get outside of the power play, he'll be hoping more damage is caused by his bowling group. How you operate through there. And the back end, if there is still ammunition in the tank for England, how you operate there, if. So I think that the West Indies have bowlers, even in the reserve ranks, that I think they can groom into power play bowlers. So I think that's a work that they can get in the middle overs with this guy and others. Where I think they need to develop is the back-end bowlers who are closing out an innings, where I don't see enough of in the Caribbean, in the reserves. Catch, it's a cry. Russell's down there. Even he can't get there. Superman couldn't fly high enough. First 6 of the contest to Jacks.
Yes, for a moment, Joe Russell was interested in this one, but it was a fleeting moment. And the only reason the shot was on was just that little drop in length from Hussain. So all these minor things are what have contributed to the 6 hitting in these previous matches.
Got him. He strikes again. He is so brilliant. Bowling in the power play under pressure. It's been an indifferent series for Jacks, but 2 in the power play for the West Indies.
Oh, this just clips the top of the stumps. Well, Jacks, having just hit that 6th the ball before, tries to give himself all the room he needs to find a space on the offside. The ball drifts in, the timing is wrong, top of the stump is clipped, and we can see again that West Indies mean business here, and they really know that 2 wickets early changes the whole dynamic of a game. Jacks gone for 7, England 39 for 2.
Excellent start for the West Indies. Now, Liam Livingstone, this is an experiment that England have tried throughout the series. We know his explosive nature, but he's also shown the ability to bat in the middle overs and really take on the game. Hasn't come to the crease this early, though, too many times in his career. Thomas Sabo, the last in the power play. The wickets at the other end don't phase Phil Salt, who continues to find the boundary. Hello, Stacey and King.
Hello, Nikhil. Hello, everyone. Oshane Thomas in for his second, just giving a bit of width. And being punished for it. He'll have to learn quickly, Oshane Thomas. His first over, first ball cost him a boundary, and he came back tight. What can he do now?
Yeah, misses length. You don't have a lot of margin of error when you're bowling to this man who's in this type of touch.
Yeah, that's a good shot. That's a really good shot from Phil Salt. Attempted Yorker from Oshane Thomas. And driven back firmly.
Still the third backward square, 2 outside the circle. Can the West Indies finish the power play well? Much better.
Yeah, this was Akeal Hussain getting the breakthrough. Holding a much tighter line, trying to make room, but couldn't on that occasion to make connection.
Interesting thing there, watching those first 2 overs. A lot of those delivery stays were north of that 90 km/h mark. Mainly arm balls, and at times you see bowlers trying to change it up, maybe go the orthodox select left arm spin, take the ball away from the right-handers, but he's found something that's worked on this surface to both Buttler, Salt, and now Jacks. Consistently went arm ball, it paid dividends for him.
Yeah, as you mentioned, that pace in which he bowled those arm balls at was very important. Because we saw in previous matches, he's been taken apart by Phil Salt and company because of the lateral movement in which they have been moving to make room to playing to the offside.
He's going to need to be dismissed though. We've all seen the destruction is not only in the first 6 overs, it's throughout the innings. He's found the skill to be able to bat through, bat deep, but be really aggressive. This offside game, that really stands out. It jumps out at me. The amount of times they forced him to play in the offside, but he still found the boundary. Have bowled well to him and to England. The West Indies, they'll be happy with this. End of the first power play, 50 for 2.
Fourth T20 power play was 68 without loss, so West Indies will take this as a plus. 2 wickets down.
Seen a number of things from the West Indies today. One was the unpredictability of Powell and the change-ups in terms of his bowling options. Now see the 5th option, Gudakesh Motie. From this northern end. So that wind mainly could assist that arm ball very straight. Rustin Chase on the field for Jason Holder. Because of that wind direction and also that arm ball, he's got 3 deep leg side.
He was put under some pressure from Phil Salt in the previous match. wasn't allowed to find that right line or length. It was pretty expensive.
You know, all 3 overs of left-arm spin have been bowled from this end. May have just brushed the pad on the way through. Charles does well enough in the end to save a run.
Yeah, with a slip in place, just drifting too much into the leg side and very well tickled.
That was slower, but it doesn't matter. It hasn't mattered when Phil Salt has been in the middle. It has just been so powerful. He's continuing right where he left off.
Yeah, another big hit from Phil Salt. Just backs to the leg side and opens up the scoring on the offside, where he has been exceptional in his innings a few days ago.
That was something he did to Mears and Ford specifically. Step away and open up that offside to the ball coming into him. Picking the arm ball. Does Motie have the one going the other way? There it is! A gem from Gudakesh Motie. And it has taken that good of a delivery to dismiss this man. West Indies in front.
Yeah, what a delivery from Gudakesh Motie. Amazing. Phil Salt beaten all ends up. Yeah, just look at what it means to Gudakesh Motie. He's gotten the dangerous Phil Salt. Salt goes for 38. It's 60 for 3.
Now the 2 left-arm spinners for the West Indies. A successful start brings Harry Brook at number 5. Just the start Rodman Powell would have asked for after winning the toss.
Yeah, peach of a delivery from Gudakesh Motie. It had to take something special to dismiss Phil Salt.
Slipped in straight away. And the pace stays 93 kilometers per hour, and usually you see those quicker deliveries being the arm ball. He's able to find that orthodox delivery going past the outside edge. Excellent start to his spell, Gudakesh Motie, 61 for 3. The West Indies haven't lost a series in 2023 in T20 international cricket. We're hoping that they can win this one, keep that perfect record. Got the start, but It's not going to be easy. England have some depth. Russell, a return for him after that first over. Times has been susceptible to the shorter delivery, but he's very strong leg side. I think that's why they have deep fine leg, deep backward square for that pull shot. Straight away goes short.
Now, this has been a very big adjustment from West Indies in terms of their bowling lines. They've been very disciplined. Current run rate 8.65. Those 3 wickets be a concern for England.
They have stayed a touch low. Well, you can be a part of history if you're watching this at home. You just scan that QR code on screen or download the Match Worn Shirt app to bid for one of your heroes' match-worn jerseys, or you can get a jersey signed by the entire team. Don't miss out on your chance to win.
We talk about those lines. That length Andrew Russell is bowling. Hitting the deck hard, but maintaining bowling to the body of both batters, which means he really does want them to play that odd, that shot into the leg side. Early on, Ian Bishop would have mentioned that the breeze is going across, so they'll be going across.
Yeah, because of that short ball plan, they've left mid-off up in the circle. And Russell knows he's missed his length badly.
It's a good scoring option for a delivery as such, over-pitched. All he needed to do was make connection and find a gap.
And now fine leg comes in the circle. And a deep mid-wicket employed, so still 3 deep leg side, joining deep 3rd deep point. That line there, especially at the World Cup stage, teams with express pace went to Harry Brook, 4th stump line but short because of that dominance in the leg side. So it's not a bad ploy.
Yeah, agreed, and as mentioned, breeze is going across. So wanted him to play in there, but he's done well so far. He's rolled the wrist to keep those 2 deliveries down.
Haven't seen too many slower deliveries today. They will get back for the second, or will they? Yeah, just good running in the end. 70 for 3.
Even though they've picked up 3 wickets, West Indies, England, they've been scoring quite frequently, 8.75 run rate. They're 3 for 70 of 8 overs. Current run rate 8.75. Motie to continue.
Now 2 shouts here. He was in line, yes he was. Whether it was glove or it was the leg before, it doesn't matter. The West Indies are in a really good rhythm at the moment.
Yeah, innovation going wrong once again for an English batter. Attempting that ram shot, similar to Just Butler. Yeah, just good awareness from Nicholas Pooran to follow that delivery, and again, Gudakesh Motie making the breakthrough. Harry Brook goes for 7, it's 70 for 4.
Motie, one of the few left-handers in this English batting lineup, so they've sent him up the order with the attempt of maybe negating this threat of Motie and Akil Hussain. It's been Curran at other times in the series. They've gone with Motie in this situation. And as always, Motie will start from over the wicket to the left-hander. Not something you see often from left-arm spinners. It's almost acting like an off-spinner, bringing both edges into play. It's got a bit of rough area, some footmarks to aim at as well.
They tried to paddle sweep that delivery and didn't quite get lateral connection. It went more aerial coming off the glove.
Mid-wicket, anybody?
Slip in place for Livingston and a catching fielder leg side.
Right ball, Motie.
The changes of pace just make him so deceptive, Stace.
Now, this has been good from him because a few games ago he was really expensive. I think last game he went for 55 without a wicket. After 1 for 9 in the second. Now, those speeds that you mentioned, just varying it with those deliveries.
A good change-up as well from Robin Powell, because in the last game he bowled from that southern end. So a change of ends, understanding conditions, understanding the wind factor. I think he's been really good today, just in terms of employing a very disciplined length. We've also seen less pace off from the seamers. They've read the surface well thus far. Very menacing from Motie. 73 for 4.
Yeah, just to add to that point, I think Gudakesh Motie and Akil Hussain, once bowling from that southern end, they have been expensive throughout the series. So it's something to possibly look at that they've corrected. Possibly to look at a note with the World Cup coming up in a few months.
There's still some depth in Curran, Wokes and Ryan Ahmed to come, but you expect this pair, the partnership being over. The rate has been still good, over 8 and over, because of that electric start they got again from Phil Salt. I wonder what they do with those 2 Motie overs remaining. Hussain has 2 as well. Do they save one of them for the back end? Be probably full and wide, maybe good length and wide, because he's hitting into the wind.
And just the angle of the right-handed Jason Holder to go across the left-hander. He has protection, he has a deep point. And a deep third.
But mid-off was in the circle. Don't think it will get to the boundary. Outfield has been on the heavy side. Russell as well.
I did well, Andre Russ.
Does have the option of going short as well with two deep fielders, square leg side. That's another option. Yeah, one difference to me though, Stace, and I would love to get your perspective on it. It just seems like today, the West Indies have gone less pace-off deliveries. When I look back at that last game, they went pace-off to Livingston, to Brook, to Phil Salt, and it was just sitting up in the surface and they were going across the line. Today, it seems like a lot more pace-on at the body, and it seemed to have worked so far. Don't know.
Well, Skipper did say that they are going to allow, well, he's going to allow bowlers to sit and think. That probably has been part of that thought process to go through what they've done really well, what they haven't done really well, what adjustments could have been made. And yeah, most definitely. We saw that over those 2 overs from Dre Russ, which was body lined, which means cramp for space to play the shot or get them to get a top edge and create opportunities. So good aggression shown and very much tidier from West Indies this time around.
Short ball again. And while this is a really good start, we've seen the depth of England. Livingston got a half-century in the last game. And we're well aware of the struggles of the West Indies at the back end. So this is good so far. However, the next 10 will be pivotal, especially that last 5 phase.
I agree that Moeen Ali will play a big role.
Brave bowling with mid-off up. Hold executes well, though. Just 4 from the over. Halfway stage, 77 for 4. Time for the Blue Waters drinks break.
A very picturesque Brian Lara Cricket Academy, South Trinidad. The Twin Island Republic is host for these final 2 matches, the final one today. Lots of culture, carnival, the steel pans, and all of the characters that go with it. It's a melting pot, an eclectic mix of everything, all in one place, not to mention the sports, the hiking, the activities that are on offer for all to experience. Wonderful sight overhead of this magnificent facility. And if you're a West Indian fan, this is a wonderful sight too. Jason Holder picking the first, Ocean Thomas with the catch. Power play wicket, so important. That Hussain on target. That's the line that he's looking for predominantly. Wicket to wicket. Good against Motie. Look at that seed. To get the very informed Salt. And then Nicholas Puran with a simple catch. 4 wickets down. 77 on the board. Motie again. 2 wickets for just 11 runs. Remember that very parsimonious spell in Grenada. 1 for 12 for Holder, 1 for 15 for Hussain. Hussain will start after the break from the northern end. Ian Bishop alongside me. Bishop to come back from such a drubbing a couple days ago. These guys so far, they've shown a lot of character. It's not easy to do what they've done thus far, isn't it?
Keep it straight. Up here.
Yeah, so far it looks good. So full judgment will be made after the innings. But there have been a couple of keys to what they've done. And it's the length as well as the line.
Excellent.
And what I mean by that is from the very first over from Dre Russ, they've bowled very straight. And they've bowled spin and pace, a very good length so far.
Yeah. Hey, Kingy, that's good stuff.
Period of consolidation. We don't often associate that with T20 cricket. Coach Darren Sammy on the boundaries edge, just having a chat with the captain, who's positioned there, just reinforcing plans, perhaps reminding him of certain things that they've discussed. England so far in the series 112 for 2 after 10 in game 1, 72 for 3, game 2, 107 without loss, 119 for 1. So that's 77 for 4. Represents the best bowling effort from a West Indian standpoint in terms of wickets. As a reminder, if you need reminding, this is the defining match. Series locked at 2 apiece.
Squeeze in one more dot here, buddy. One more dot, sorry.
You can't get under it. The pace from Hussain, good. Line, good. Right-left combination means a different angle for Hussain. That should have been a single. Bit of miscommunication means it's a dot ball. Good over from Hussain, just 3, 80 for 4. Those red blobs have stymied the progress of England in this innings. Ocean Thomas's first and only game in this series, brought in at the expense of the debutant from the last game, Ford. Extra pace from Thomas. Just a single.
I just want us to cast our eyes on why I think what they've done so far with the ball has been good. Why has it been good? It's not just been good. The seamers largely have not overpitched the ball, and they've bowled that good length and just short of it. And the majority of deliveries very direct. There have been a few straying outside off some, you'd expect that. But very, very straight and a good length. So it's a combination of the two. So that's seen. Now, when it comes to spin, of course, you've seen Motie and Hussein targeting the stumps there again on that good length. So it's great discipline so far from the West Indies, extremely good discipline. And it's why I feel even with this group and even around the Caribbean, I think we've got guys in the region who you can train and refine to bowl in that power play going forward, where he and Darren Sammy will be looking at as I've stressed it before, is their back-end bowling to close out an innings, not necessarily today, but going forward to that World Cup. Who are your finishers of the innings? Who will he get to bowl if required? Straight Yorkers, wide Yorkers, pace off, hard length. Those are still works in progress.
Wow, that's monstrous. Liam Livingstone really does hit it a long way, you know.
Careful when you're catching the ball there as well. Full enough in terms of length from off stump. But the gentleman catching the ball there almost did himself harm. It hit him straight in the chest. That could have come off so much worse. Be careful, please.
Another very good catching technique. Does he adjust the length then? He pulls it back. Just a single. Yeah, you're right. They've made the adjustment as a group so far, the bowlers, both in terms of line and in length. And it has paid dividends. Wickets, we keep mentioning that in the power play, so crucial. And nice to see the youngsters out. These young kids, they came a couple of days ago, they're here again. Much rather being here at the cricket, off their screens, keep them occupied elsewhere. And they will land safely though. 10 runs from that Thomas over, 90 for 4. Just a couple of days ago, those projected scores were well over 200. Very different today. Moeen has been playing a few aggressive strokes, not really connecting just yet, but not for lack of effort.
Sorry. Yes, no flood.
Yeah, a lot of responsibility on them, you know. Wokes can play Sam Curran. We know he's an all-rounder like Wokes, Rehan Ahmed, of course, and Adil Rashid. But ideally, England will want to keep scoring, but also to try to have these two bat a little bit deeper into the innings if they can, if they're allowed to. That would be the ideal. It may not happen that way.
Any batting group, when you're in this situation, how do you manage those risks? Still keep scoring. Chris Wokes center of screen, Rehan Ahmed right of screen. Top and this time he connects.
He has attempted to play some shots, but he'll see left arm spin as his matchup. So there has to be an adjustment, perhaps in length, with Motie trying to keep the ball outside the off stump. He'll see Moeen Ali, will see left arm spin as his positive matchup.
Yeah, good adjustment. He fired that one and he saw that little movement across to the offside and targeted the stumps at pace, 105.5. So that's a bowler keeping his eye on the batter. Yeah, the youngsters in, parents in as well. Christmas time, they've taken time away from shopping and Christmas activities. Just wide of Brandon King, I think, position at short mid-wicket. Brings up the 100 for England.
We've seen some deliveries hold up in the surf. It's not ragging, but there's a little bit of assistance for the slow men, and again, Rayan Ahmed and Rashid will be hoping they can exploit it.
Call is for 2. And a good running 12 from this one. 102 for 4.
Robin Powell had a little word with Dre Russ during that over from Godakish. Motie, Russell, who's gone well economy-wise, but there's still much more work to do, as I mentioned, closing out an innings as critical as starting it.
Couple overs up his sleeve, Andrew Russell. 1 for Thomas. Hussain has 1 remaining. Holder with 2. Motie 1. So options all around for Rovman Powell. 60 seconds in between overs to start the over. They've had a warning already. If you have 2 warnings, the 3rd time there's a sanction, a 5-run penalty. Russell from the southern end. He missed his length a couple times looking for the Yorker, but that's the delivery that we haven't seen often enough from a Western.
Yeah, it's the critical part. It's very difficult to bowl them consistently. Very few in the world can do it. Jasprit Bumrah, the modern guys, is probably one of those. And when it comes down to the back end, as you go into tournaments, you'll need straight Yorker, wide Yorker as part of a wide armory. It's a deep point.
Yeah, flies past Nicholas Pooran, looking leg side, so he might have been off put by that. Gets the boundary, not where he intended.
It's an indication of Moeen Ali seems to have taken it upon himself to play freely, not to be too bogged down, or try to be playing freely, to put pressure back on the fielding unit.
Yeah, the percentage of attacking shots he's played is very high. Really good bowler again, keeping an eye on the batter. Saw him going leg side, fired it wide. Really smart from Russell. .28 dot deliveries so far in innings. I think they had 27 all innings in the last game. England. This is good, you know. The variations have been good. He started the over off with a Yorker. Slow ball bouncer now. Faster bouncer earlier. So the full repertoire. Fielder is coming under, won't get there. Not enough bat on it. Johnson Charles, the man in today. Different types of short deliveries from Russell.
I think to Moeen Ali, what we've seen so far is that the seamers have gone hard into the pitch at him. Love to see a little beehive of fast bowlers to him so far today. Occasionally, as in this over, when Russell has seen him move, he's gone full and wide. So good discipline, making Moeen Ali try to play that horizontal bat shot, which he's gotten better at playing, but hasn't always been clinical with it.
He's changed the angle now for the final delivery. Round the wicket, just wants to make sure he has his fielders in the right position. Does he want the deep backward square or the long off? Both of them just trying to decide. Which one does he decide on? Yeah, he wants the long off. Deep backward square in the inner circle. Really good from Russell. Nails the Yorker, just a single. 7 runs from that over. 109 for 4.
Two balls in that over. There was a straight Yorker early to Livingston, and then an attempt to get that Yorker going across him. I think he was perhaps looking to push it even wider. That's changing the angle and looking to differentiate between those Yorker line.
Yeah, for his final over. That's one thing we haven't seen as well too often. Bowlers going around the wicket and trying that line as a defensive option. Something that Dwayne Bravo did exceptionally well in his career.
Yep, and that's the name. And say that's the name. If I have any sentence I can utter, I'd like to see someone like a Bravo working with young bowlers on a consultancy basis, teaching them about those Yorkers and variations.
Does he have enough? No, he doesn't. Teamwork, is it taken? I think Rothman Powell got it in the end, you know. Andrew Russell, a gentle throw to Powell, maybe a little bit too soft, but in the end, all's well that ends well. Seems as though Akil Hussain has gotten his man. They'll maybe want to check for confirmation. But it'll be a very important blow. Yeah, they want to check.
Catch is taken within the field of play. Ball is released now. Just gonna make sure it's taken cleanly, and then I want an angle. Yep. Fingers wrapped around the ball. I'm satisfied. Can I get an angle just to see when the ball is released that there's no contact with the tool of a run? Thank you. I'm ready to make my decision to the big screen.
Yeah, we will have confirmation of that out for the crowd here. So very good from Akil Hussain, as with Gudakesh Motie, largely throwing it outside the off stump. Another left-hander his left-hander. Just like that, you're seeing a little bit of footmarks outside the left-hander's off stump, and that's a lot of what Motie before and now Akeal Hussain did to Moeen Ali. They're not giving it too often straight at him to hoik it down the ground or leg side. And with those catches, the supplementary fielder always encroaches to try to get that.
Yeah, 4 wickets between them. Good occasion, Motie and Akeal Hussain, left and orthodox bowlers, bowling together, playing in the same 11 and doing the job for the West Indies. Really exceptional spell from Akeal Hussain. 2 for 20 from his 4 overs. 15 overs gone, 1 for 5.
Yeah, up to this point, the West Indies will be the happier of the two teams. However, haven't finished innings well this series and the recent past. So this is a great opportunity for them to enhance that. And through the experience of Jason Holder, who will likely bowl 2 in the last 5. One of Motie, Russell and Thomas, assuming they don't go to any other option. This is their chance to finish well.
Is having taken all these wickets and therefore limiting England's resources in this last 5 overs always gives you an advantage. You know, it's not quite the same as having Salt on 80 not out and someone else, Livingston, going really strong. Livingston's going at less than a run a ball. So the wickets have proved absolutely vital for West Indies. Can celebrate as best they like at this stage. At the moment it's very much with West Indies. England need a big finish.
Yeah, that's a strength of Liam Livingston. He works his way across his stumps and opens up that leg side where he is.
Yeah, he gets the right length here. That's exactly the length he would like, just to be able to get under the ball, play through it. That power of his. Great catch. Well, has he put it on the ground? No, I think he's caught it. Better than the previous attempt in the crowd some 10 minutes ago.
That would just be 1. And with this field, 3 deep offside to Livingston and Holder bowling from around the wicket, they will know the plan will be to go wide at him. All his dismissals in this series have been either pace off or pace on, but 4th or 5th stump line.
Yeah, I mean, by and large, you'd say it's been a much better bowling performance from West Indies. Lines and lengths, plans, and whether it was the same plan the other day, badly executed, whether, actually I have a theory, I think it's a slightly different sort of pitch today. It's the same piece of turf, but it looks a bit more tired. So the ball hasn't necessarily come on in the same way. It's well bowled. And obviously, stating the obvious, nor has it disappeared in the same way by some distance. We've had all those 6s in the previous 2 games. We've had precious few today. So I think the way they bowl. And between them, Russell's a great example. The last 3 games, his cost effectiveness has been, he's been going at 12, 13, 16 in reverse order. He's back into single figures today. And even actually right at the start of this innings, when Holder got that first wicket, Josh Buttler just caught it short fine, trying to ramp it over. It was could see right from that first wicket, there was a spirit in this West Indies side. Every wicket has been met and celebrated in a very spirited fashion.
Should feel that point in the circle offside. Finishes well with that pace-off option wide. 9 from the over, they'll take. Start.
If you look at Liam Livingstone there, that sort of body language, although he's hit the odd one really well, you can see he's struggling slightly with the timing, the overall timing. Not a problem that Phil Salt had just 2 days ago on this same pitch. So that's, for me, a little bit of the evidence that the pitch is playing slightly differently. But 120 for 5 is still very much advantage West Indies.
Yeah, for a number of reasons, it is essential that the West Indies, for their chances, winning this game and the series, essential that they finish well. 8 overs of a leg spin from Ahmed and Rashid. Gudakesh Motie for his final over. Very quick delivery to start. I'll also say, David, there's been a direct correlation in the West Indies' death bowling performances when you look through the year to their results. When they've won games, they've kept teams to below. Huge difference, which has obviously made an impact on the wins and losses.
Yeah, the thing about that, like all statistics, you've got to look behind the stats as well. If you have like the
Livingstone has to go.
Yeah, well, that's clear evidence that the ball will stick in the pitch. Orthodox left arm spin, punched back with no real power by Livingstone, and straight at him. If you're going to have a return catch, that's exactly how you'd want them. The frustration is etched over Liam Livingstone's face as he leaves for 28. It's 121 for 6.
The dangerous Liam Livingstone departs. In comes Chris Waltz, who can bat. We've seen in all 3 formats of the game his contributions with bat in hand. But Motie at the back end of the innings, I think, is an option worth exploring going into that World Cup next year. They tried it with 2 overs in the last game, 1 today, and it's worked thus far.
Yeah, it has worked, and it's going to continue to work the remaining 2 balls of his allotted 4 overs as well. Yeah, Livingstone will know he could have done a lot of very different things with that. This is really good bowling, just closing off the over. Not easy for someone coming in under these circumstances. So Works inevitably just having a little bit of look, trying to get the one to get off the mark.
Another delivery speared in. Just 1 run and a wicket from the 17th over. Gold, 1-2-1 for 6.
Well, it's excellent bowling from Gudakesh Motie. Almost the perfect over to finish with. So his final figures 3 for 24. From his 4 overs. And that is a reflection of his very good bowling. A reflection, again, just to say that the pitch has played rather differently today, but again, all credit.
Yeah, we saw experimentation in that last game from Powell. We saw Mears, we saw Rutherford today, sticking with his 5 bowlers. Interestingly enough as well, those 8 overs of spin have all been bowled from one end, the northern end. So good use of dimensions, good use of that wind factor by Robman Powell. Time for Thomas.
Yeah, 3 overs, number 32 from Shai Thomas so far.
Yeah, they've tested Sam Curran with the short delivery throughout both the One International and T20 International series. He did play some good pull shots that went into the boundary for 4. And Nicky P is coming to town. He will be important with bat in hand. Given what we've seen on this surface and its reaction to the spin. As you mentioned, David, some deliveries have held up. England can bowl 12 or 16 overs of spin if they want. I do think, though, the Jew factor could assist if it does come in. The West Indies batting lineup. Surface tends to get a bit better, ball comes on a bit better as we go into the evening.
Yeah, I mean, the key factor is that West Indies, with the ball in the field, so far have had a really good day. All those wickets have slowed the whole thing down. Chasing, this is the advantage of chasing. If you have a day like this with the ball bowling first, it just sets it up so well because you know exactly what you need. And you also know that it's a lot less than it was 2 days ago.
They're trying to decide. Robman Powell wasn't sure. They've now added an extra fielder leg side, so it's deep fine leg, backward square, mid-wicket and long on. 4 deep leg side. Wokes expected a shorter delivery at body line.
Yeah, he did the obvious thing, which is reflecting, you know, and find the offside. Actually, Thomas did well because he followed him, had that awkward length, which produced the awkward height. That's the advantage of his own height and pace. But intention from Wokes was completely stymied.
Good discipline. Many would say 34 runs conceded is expensive. But just watching him, obviously first game of this series, would have been on the sidelines. They opted to keep him with the squad, even though they didn't select him for the first 3 T20 internationals, because they see something in him. They want to invest in his development. I think other than a few boundary deliveries in the power play, it's been relatively
Yeah, what a difference 2 days make. A couple of days ago, these final overs were disappearing many a mile. Now it's a real struggle. It's good bowling, yes. It's a reflection situation, yes, but it's just an absolute struggle. No one's really timing the ball in these late overs. Livingston struggled despite his power. These two, Wokes and Curran. Wokes is 1 from 4, Curran 6 from 9.
Now bringing up the fine leg into the circle. So Powell will go back to long off, gives him 2 options. He can go short, also can go full, maybe even Yorker. Heavy length again. We'll look for the second, will just be 1. Another tight over from the West Indies. Brilliant stuff, 4 from it. 1-2-5 for 6.
Well, it was good. It's a great over from Shai Thomas to finish off his spell of 4. 4 overs, none for 36. When the left-arm spinner wicket maiden, 1 from Thomas, just costing 4. Just the 2 overs still to come.
Motie and Hossein. 2 spin options as expected at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy, actually. It's usually a venue that favors the spinners. While some have held up in the surface, they've been pretty consistent, pretty disciplined. Now Russell has bowled well today. We heard Samuel Badri and Ian Bishop talk about that tactic from around the wicket, trying to bowl those Yorkers. He will start around the wicket. And there's the Yorker, straight through. Russell has his first. The West Indies continue to wreak havoc.
Well, these are the things that West Indies weren't doing 2 days ago, or even in the game before. These are the things that everyone says you've got to try when you're trying to restrict and or take wickets and or both. And that is pretty much the perfect Yorker from that angle into off stump. So Wokes is gone for just 2. England really struggling now, 125 for 7.
Yeah, Rayan Ahmed can bat. We've seen it in the red ball setup. Has also opened the batting in a few T20 franchise leagues. Can he add something, add some level of support to Sam Curran, who's at the other end? That's another one, 2 and 2. For Dre Russ, who may have done himself some harm in the process.
It's a great catch. That was hit with some power. The low full toss was hit with some power by Rayan Ahmed, who will be thinking, first of all, how did I hit it straight back at Dre? And secondly, how on earth has he caught it? Because he had so little time to steady himself and react. Whether he's damaged a finger remains to be seen. It's a great catch. 2 and 2 for the Dre. Rayan Ahmed goes first ball, the golden duck for him. 125 for 7, very quickly becomes 125 for 8. So one batting leg spinner is replaced by another. Adil Rashid taking the place of Rayan Ahmed. Dre Russell, you could say, is rather bookending his performances in this series. He was good in the first match in Barbados on his return to T20 internationals. Profligate in the last 3 games. This much better in the final game.
Almost was a hat-trick. But this angle, David Gower, from around the wicket is something Russell does in other T20 cricket, and he likes it because he mentions it gives him options, whether he can go for that straight Yorker or even go fully across the right-hander and bowl the wide Yorker or full and wide delivery. It's worked like a charm today.
Yes, because he's bowled better. Yeah, he knows what to do. This is what bemuses me looking back over the previous 3 matches. Because this is a man with immense experience in franchise T20, in international T20. And if you pull these men back into your team, into your squad, this is the sort of thing you're paying them to do. So those 3 games in the middle were, you might call them an aberration, but they certainly weren't up to his standards.
Goes over the wicket to the left-hander. There is a fielder who puts it down. Akil Hossein it was, who got into a good enough position. And they'll steal, or will they? No, they won't. But a big chance.
Yeah, nearly carried. these are always hard. We have seen some brilliant catching in this series. This one hangs in the air for long enough. Gets there with the hands pretty much at full stretch. So we have seen catches like this taken. And in fact, he took one of the best in Barbados. This one just doesn't stick.
Yeah, just also what I heard from him, David Russell, that is why he also likes to bowl from that angle. He also mentioned that can maybe pitch some deliveries in that blind spot area, so just below the eye level, which can almost plague some batters. You saw Phil Salt with a ball that just went under the bat in the last game at the back end. But as you said, great to see the improvements from him, because I think he will play a big part with Alzari Joseph, with Shepherd, with Jason Holder in that next World Cup.
Yeah, these are all the things that actually both sides wanted to find out about in this series. Will indeed help clarify matters of selection. It's another good one. That's spot on from Russell. Curran had no options there whatsoever. 129 for 8. So, for Dre Russell, 4 overs, 2 for 25. Economy rate today, 6.25. I mentioned it just now. In the previous 3 matches, he's been well into double figures in each of those 3 matches. So this is the perfect way for him to finish off this series.
Yeah, only Thomas, the expensive one on that list, but you could say he did his part as well in terms of just hitting the pitch in the middle overs mainly, and Holder setting that wicket of Jos Buttler. Very experienced, like Sam Curran. Now, how many can England get in this final over to give themselves a chance? I think they'll feel relatively pleased if they can get to 140 from here. Been told that Andrew Russell's gone off to get some treatment to that left hand. He could be important with bat. Yeah, again, the placement from Curran. Won't get to the boundary again, but they've continued to test him with that short ball, and he continues to excel with that pull shot.
Yeah, for him it is pretty much what, throat height, isn't it? Gets the shot in all right, doesn't quite nail it.
No one is behind square leg side. 3 deep offside, so maybe full and wide. They'll take that. I think Curran may just get there. They'll look. I think he could be short here, Adil Rashid. He has given it Leslie Reefer Jr. The main thing, though, is that Curran will be on strike.
Well, it's good fielding. The call straight away as the ball left the bat was for 2. So England, this pair, really wanted to come back for that second, try and give Curran the strike. But that's brilliant fielding, because pace to the ball, the pickup was excellent, and then the throw is absolutely perfect. So no need for any reference to TVs and monitors and replays. Adil Rashid knew he was out, umpire knew he was out. 1 for him. 9th wicket goes down on 132.
Yeah, Stopley sprints to the middle. The key thing, again, Sam Curran is on strike. Won't be surprised if he faces the majority, if not all, of these 4 deliveries to go. Can he find 2 boundaries against Holder? Maybe that square leg region is an option if Holder misses his length, but so far the plan has been full and wide. He's got backward point, deep cover, long off, left of screen, correction, right of screen now. This is a chance. And the catching has been superb from the West Indies in this series. Critically, they end the innings on a high. Holder has 2. The West Indies dismantle England for 132. What a comeback. Lowest first innings total in T20 internationals at the Brian Lara Cricket Academy.
Yeah, Curran tries to slap this away over extra cover, doesn't get enough on it. It's got good carry on it, and Rutherford made excellent ground to it, kept his hands high. So England bowled out with 3 deliveries left of their allotted 20. West Indies will be absolutely delighted with their bowling, with their plans, with their execution, with the catching, with everything that's happened here. Winning the toss, sticking England back in again, see if they could repeat the pyrotechnics of 2 days ago. They can't, is the easy answer. They've made fewer than half the runs they made 2 days ago. So this is a very, very different game. 19.3 overs, 132 all out. Top score is Phil Salt again, but this time 38. Behind him, Livingstone and Moeen Ali. It has been a real struggle for England's batsmen, and you have to say it's been a much, much better performance from West Indies bowlers. All those plans have been properly executed today. You can also say maybe there's a little bit of luck here and there, but credit to that bowling attack. That is a really good set of figures. 2 for Russell, 2 for Hussain, 2 for Holder, 3 for Motie. Really good set of figures all round. This game, they all need wickets early, in the middle, and at the end. Just checking the field, there's a slip. The deep men, the 2 deep men, 1 behind square on the offside, 1 pretty much behind square, just behind square on the leg side. Oh, that's good. That is good, but not quite good enough to get anything but a gentle shake of the head from the umpire.
Yeah, just a little shape from Topley, enough sometimes to undo the batter. Just maybe doing too much, starting too straight down the leg side. So easy enough for the umpire to make that decision. Yeah, you're right, David. They need wickets up front. They've gotten a few already, 8 in the series in power play, 1 prior to this game.
First run of the innings. Almost the first runs. Just settling for the 1 in the end. Livingstone out deep square leg. Well, just a chance for Johnson Charles to make a mark in this final match of the series. Well, he's made one literally there already. Fine leg in the circle, beats him very, very easily. It's flicked off the pad.
Yeah, this can happen at times. Again, you can understand what he's trying to do. He's trying to bowl straight, trying to finish on the stumps, starting a little bit too straight. And that's the only thing. But when you're searching for wickets, you want to keep the stumps in play as much as possible.
Uppish, but wide of extra cover. This time the 2 is on. Yeah, just adjusting the line there is Topley. I mean, there is a bit of shape in the air. That's the thing you're never quite sure of as an opening bowler. Is he going to swing? Is it not going to swing? If it does, where am I going to get the line right? So not quite timed, but safe enough.
And immediately the slip comes out and goes where that ball went aerial a few moments ago. So reinforcements are there.
Wait on.
And Johnson Charles is a no-nonsense type player. In 2023, he's been striking at 194 in 6 matches in T20 eyes. CPL scored 238 runs, an average of 30. So you know what you get from him. He sees ball, hits ball type of player. Fearless. And that's what you want from someone at the top of the order, particularly in a chase like this. Don't take it for granted. Batters you usually would.
First over, it costs 7. Yeah, the assumption surely is this, that, okay, we saw a bit of swing there from Reece Topley. But the assumption surely, having Ahmed will jump on the rest of this game. Having said that, every over is key. Every wicket, if they can get them, will be key. So Chris Wokes. What we saw from West Indies was some excellent bowling, both with seam up and with spin. The seam attack today, that straight line was very, very effective. That sort of length was very effective in keeping things tight. So anything offline remains dangerous. Anything largely straight, and at this stage of this innings, length and just back of a length has to be good. Maybe not. That has gone miles. Disappears into the tunnel. There's that no-nonsense style that we were talking about. Samuel Badri absolutely spot on. If it's there to hit, Johnson Charles will see it does get hit.
Yeah, gives it a whack. Silent assassin is what we call him. Doesn't make too much fuss on or off the field. But one thing he is, he's very positive. And the fans, they'll be very hopeful of a victory tonight and a series win. I'm very disappointed a couple days ago with that chastening defeat.
He was shaping to go again. There was a bit of a way swing here from Wokes, who quite rightly pushed that ball just a fraction fuller. It gets some bounce as well. But this is where we always talk about precision in lines and lengths. That one before was just that little fraction too short, which gave the chance, gave the option for the shot.
Yeah, this contest will boil down essentially to how the spinners go and how the West Indian batters face up to them.
Oh, just wide. It's going to go for 4 in the end. It was a sprawling effort. Topley will be the tallest man on the field, but even he, diving to his right, couldn't quite get a hand on this. It's guided away there in the air. There's another foot or so from the end of the fingers to where that ball dropped.
They're very well guided in the end. 1,000 runs in T20 eyes for Johnson Charles with that boundary. Yeah, England wouldn't want to give them too many runs off the fast bowlers, of the seamers early up. They have the 2 wrist spinners. They have Moeen Ali, eventually 16 overs.
Yeah, if too much damage is done early on, then you're going to be looking for miracle figures from the spinners. Yeah, I left Moeen Ali out the list just now. I mean, there's plenty of spin options there. I think the most dangerous is very obviously Adil Rashid, who's bowled best of all of them in this series. Rian Ahmed has taken wickets, but has been at times too expensive, and this is a game where you just cannot afford to be expensive. Good start from West Indies, 20 without loss after 2. Well, it's been fabulously entertaining here for the last 3 weeks or so in the Caribbean. First of all, that ODI series won 2-1 by the West Indies. 4 wickets in the first game, the winning margin 6-4. Then West Indies winning the first couple of games of the T20I series. England fighting back, but at the moment it's advantage West Indies in the final match. Trying that loss. Good start. Oh, that's gone high. This is catchable. Underneath it. And safely taken. So Jos Buttler without the gloves, still just as safe underneath the high catches. Topley has done what he's paid to do. He's got that early breakthrough. This time it is Brandon King who's miscued. Buttler just steadied himself. Perfect technique to see how high that ball is taken. Same style as if he had the gloves on. England needed that.
First wicket, King goes for 3, 20 for 1.
Well, local hero, Nicholas Perrin, acknowledged as a fine exponent of the T20 format. It needs someone here just to steer West Indies through these opening overs properly. Just to make sure that the alarm bells don't start to ring. They've lost that first wicket carelessly.
Yes.
Perrin just steers it away for one first ball. Just a nice little dab into the offside. It's a good line, it's good length from Reece Topley. Brandon King knew straight away he'd miscued. You might say nice idea, poor execution. You might say bad idea, poor execution.
I think your description, careless, is quite apt, given the target and given the, I suppose, the want for a good platform.
Leg by this time. Yeah, it should be the advantage, shouldn't it, of batting second and having good game like that hard rate, then you're winning that game. And the only thing that will change that is if you either get bowled out by some absolutely unbelievably good bowling, or if you make careless mistakes. It's a good shot. That is a lovely shot. That is the way to deal with a short ball. Perrin's execution, top class.
Yeah, that was it flat. That didn't get any sort of height. And they were ducking for cover. That is powerfully drilled by Perrin. Yeah, they had to seek refuge.
Shai says, sun's going nowhere. The finger, the crucial finger from the umpire has not gone up. And they've got 3 seconds left to decide whether... No.
More just say you want to take it, man.
Yeah, Jos Buttler, of course, would normally be in the thick of things as captain and keeper. He's miles away at mid-off here. swing bat on. I would suggest it probably is bat on ground if there's a noise to go on. Wide again, crashed away. It's a chase and a dive, and it's a very good stop from Liam Livingstone. Three. Still some powerful batting to come, of course. Shai Hope's been in good touch, both in the ODIs and the T20Is. Rutherford powerful. The best for West the last 2 or 3 weeks. Russell, Holder. Well, the theatre is excellent here at the Brian Lara Academy Stadium. Thick inside edge, just squirts away on the onside. Not quite what was hoped for from Johnson Charles. Good bowling from Wokes. We can have a little look back at that strangled appeal. There wasn't the most confident appeal in the previous over. Ooh. The noise is everywhere. Battle
Bit of both bat first and ground first and then the bat.
Yes.
Now that was a missed opportunity. Just Butler was asking Moeen Ali for some bit of confirmation one way or the other, and they were non-committal. And in the end, time ran out. And I was just saying to myself, I'm not entirely sure how they'll be looking at it now.
Now both Topley and Wokes have offered the ball wide. We observed how West Indies bowlers by and large kept it straight and made life tough. The width always gives an opportunity for some sort of shot. Okay, if it's only one, the damage isn't too bad. If it's one of those ones that allows something more extravagant, damage. Oh, it's dragged it on. Short of a length. Just trying to dab it away on the offside. Wokes has struck now. So they might not have got Paran with the catch behind in the previous over, but they've got him now. And this is just one of those ones where the extra little bit of bounce makes it just a little bit too awkward. It's the fine margins that make all the difference here. Could have easily been dragged wide of the stumps. It goes straight on. Nicholas Paran, a real danger man, goes for 10. 33 for 2. Well, England are picking up wickets. 33 for 2 brings Shai Hope to the crease. Good from Woakes, full and straight, giving the ball a chance maybe to do something in the air. But just look at the wicket now. It's the bounce that does it, I think. Sam, what do you reckon about that one?
Yeah, really an indeterminate stroke from Nicholas Pooran, maybe trying to be responsible in this innings. He usually looks to be aggressive on short delivery, so maybe looking to bat through the innings and take his team home, but it brought about his demise.
.34 for 2. Well, there's been a saying in dressing rooms for decades, centuries probably, in these circumstances. Someone has to take responsibility in the batting team. Someone, with a score like this, someone making just say 50 does most of the damage required to steer you towards a successful conclusion. Well, we said at the start that whatever happened with the bat, England needed to take wickets at the beginning, in the middle, at the end, whenever that comes, if they're going to have half a chance of sneaking victory in